So many people struggle with emotional eating, myself included. That was really the last thing to go for me. And it took a while, you know. Emotional eating is a habit. It's that habit of some uncomfortable emotion comes up and we reach for the food. It's just automatic. And for me, any excuse would do. I was excited about something, I'd reach for the food. Any experience, any emotional experience outside of the norm would cause me to reach for food. So part of healing this is just really seeing this, seeing that, okay, uncomfortable emotion is arising, there's some sort of discomfort, and rather than just experiencing that, I want to change my experience through the food. So part of healing it is realizing that the food doesn't really help. It's a temporary distraction, it's a momentary distraction, and that if we're feeling uncomfortable in the first place and we reach for the food and we overeat a pleasure food, chances are we're going to feel even worse. Do we really want to do that to ourselves? So it's seeing the whole picture of that episode. So what I recommend to people is if they feel an uncomfortable emotion arising, the first thing to do is get yourself the heck out of the kitchen. Get yourself away from the food so you have a shot at interrupting this pattern. So again, it's a habit, and as with any habit, it's possible to form a new habit. And the more you move in the direction of choosing not to reach for the food, and you reinforce that new habit, the easier it is to do that. So in the book I have 5 different strategies for dealing with emotional eating. Disidentifying with the feeling, noticing that there's an uncomfortable feeling there, allowing it to be there, and realizing it's not you. So that's disidentifying with the feeling. Another strategy is, what story am I in? What am I telling myself? What story am I telling myself that's causing me to feel so bad? And investigating that, using inquiry to investigate that. Another strategy, and this is the one that I use most of the time, it's called seeing the whole truth of food, seeing the whole picture of food, seeing the pleasure aspect, the fleeting pleasure, and then all the negative ramifications. If I eat this food, I'll feel worse, physically, emotionally, psychologically, I'll perhaps gain weight. So for this momentary experience, this probably less than 5-minute experience, I'll be suffering the consequences perhaps for days. So that's just a quick synopsis of how I encourage people to deal with emotional eating and how I eventually was able to interrupt that for myself.